Welcome to Halloween Storytime. As you can see, Foggy HQ has been made spooky, and Foggy has his own little homemade wizard's outfit, which I'm actually very pleased with because I made it. And I've got a cobweb on one cheek and ghosts on the other, so we're all set for Halloween Storytime. This is the book that we're reading, Toby and the Silver Blood Witches, written by Sally Doherty, who lives with ME. And one of her main characters in this book, Toby, is a carer for his mum, who also lives with ME. I've asked Sally for some guidance in terms of which extracts to read, because I don't want to give any of the, plot lines away or anything like that. So I'm reading chapter 1 so that you know who the main character of the book is, Toby. And then something from chapter 15, which is up page 115. So, settle back, enjoy. This book is aimed at 9-year-olds. So, please don't worry. If you live with ME, there is nothing really frightening in this book. And that's been done deliberately by me because I don't want to trigger pwME. Anyone that doesn't know what post-exertional malaise or pwME is, this is my little bit of awareness raising today. Our post-exertional malaise is a key characteristic of myalgic encephalomyelitis, and it's linked to our heart rate. Things like scary movies or getting overexcited watching a rugby match, in my case, can cause us to crash and deteriorate 2 to 3 days later. So I'm deliberately avoiding that because I'm well aware that most people watching this will be living with ME themselves. Now, the only thing visually that you need to be aware of is these candles down here flicker. So if you are really sensitive to flickering light, please be aware of that. You might want to just listen. I don't think they're that bad, but obviously I don't have that sensitivity. So, Toby and the Silver Blood Witches, here we go. One more sleep. One more day at school. Then the whole of the summer holidays to keep an eye on Mum. Toby lifted the glass to her lips and she sipped weakly. Thanks, love. Are you going to be too hot under the duvet? He wiped his brow. This heat wave had been going on for days. I'll be fine. Toby perched on the edge of the bed. If he made sure everything was quiet and peaceful, if nothing unexpected happened, Mum would be able to rest. Then maybe she'd get better. There was a chance, right? The floorboards creaked in the attic above, and his mum flinched. It keeps doing that today. The windows are open, remember? Said Toby. It's probably that. He turned to close the curtains. Light spilled from the room onto their patio below, with its rickety bench and plant pots full of weeds. At the bottom of the garden, the hedge loomed out of the darkness. It was high and thick to keep people out from what lay beyond. On the other side, a lamp flickered in the building. Toby drew in a sharp breath. A girl stood at the distant window, her long golden hair illuminated in the light from the lamp. That was strange. Surely all the workers would have gone home by now. Despite the long, hot July evening, a chill crept through Toby's bones. This could not be happening. Not again. He forced himself to look away. Above, the night sky was clear. Behind him, his mum's breathing was shallow and laboured, her frail body almost swallowed by the plump pillows. It was no use. He couldn't resist. His gaze strayed to the window as if the girl were a magnet. She was staring right at him. A memory scratched at the back of Toby's mind and images swam into his vision. A woman. A woman at the window? No, he had pushed her out of his thoughts for so long he would not remember her now. Toby, his mum whispered from the bed. He yanked the curtains closed. Is everything okay? Fine. Toby flicked off the light and hurried out of the room before his mum could ask more. Chapter 15. At the appearance of the head witch, the sentry gave a small bow before inserting her wand into a tiny, imperceptible hole in the wall. Cogs whirred into life, and at one end of the room, towering wooden doors swung open. Light spilled through the archway into the gloomy room. "Wait," whispered Willow. Either side of the door sat a grey stone gargoyle, hunched on its hind legs. They faced each other with grotesque expressions and evil grins. Dark, stubby wings grew out of their backs, and horns protruded from their heads. All at once a jet of yellow light flared out of one of their mouths and hit the wall. Toby jumped in shock. Then the other gargoyle fired a shot. It struck the opposite wall, leaving a smouldering dent among a myriad of other scorched marks. Willow started to count. 1, 2, shots through. 3, 4, and some more. 5, 6, in the mix. 7, 8, still to wait. The shots streamed in front of the door at different angles, sometimes horizontal, sometimes diagonal, and with no discernible rhythm. There was no way anyone could get through. 9, 10, time to run! Willow and Bumble raced past the gargoyles and through the archway. Toby darted after them. He was just in time as the doors slammed shut behind them, and there they stood, on the edge of the little witchery. Toby gaped wide-eyed at the scene before him, the sound of hustle and bustle filling his ears. They were in a giant transparent dome. Winding roads and buildings of all shapes and sizes and colours stretched into the distance. He inhaled deeply. The air smelt faintly of bonfire smoke, of mystery, of magic. Above, witches flew here and there in an orderly fashion. A traffic system floated in the sky with signs suspended at intervals. Absorbed in looking around, Toby could have stayed for hours, but Willow was already striding across a small green. Yellow flowers lining the grass strained towards them. 3 heads sprouted from each stalk and puffed out clouds of white gas in their direction. "Don't breathe! Cover your mouth and nose and move! Quickly!" Willow placed her cloak sleeve over her face. "What were they?" asked Toby, once they had left the flowers behind. "They detect the presence of any strangers who enter Little Witchery. That gas would knock you out for a day." "If you can get past Howler and Growler first," chuckled Bubble. Willow raised an eyebrow. "You've given our stone guards names?" "Of course," said Bumble. Toby shuddered. First the gargoyles, and now the flowers. He needed to stay alert.